You're back with 3 Talk. We spoke to another well-known South African about what inspires them. Hugh Masakela, welcome to 3 Talk. Thanks so much for joining us. What would you say inspires Hugh Masakela?
I think more than anything else, it is all those people all over the world who create platforms for people to be aware of injustice. All those people who are concerned over the quality of the lives of ordinary people. All the people who bring solace and good feelings and consolation to people through their art, through music, through theater, through films. Not necessarily all films or not necessarily all music, because some of it is sort of disrespectful, especially of women and of nurturing life. But I think that the thing that inspires me most is a fantasy that is possible to make the world a good place for everybody. And when I saw Obama campaigning, you know, in a period of 6 months, it took Americans from being separate entities into one grouping.
One community.
Yeah, one
almost,
community.
Yeah.
In 6 months, so it is possible, and things like that are very, very inspiring, especially in this day and age. What he did, I think, stands out more than anything else I've seen in my lifetime, because it was a miracle, especially because he's an African-American and of African heritage. And there's been many people like that, people who inspire other people like Mandela, like Bishop Tutu, even sometimes is castigated. But people who stand against injustice, I think, are my biggest inspiration.
Now, Obama said and continues to say, yes, America, yes, we can. Is there something that Hugh wakes up in the morning and has a word or a mantra that you say constantly to yourself in order to get out of certain situations?
I think that I lean mostly on the heritage, you know, the heritage which is ignored today. In fact, it's such an obsession with me that I'm working on an academy of the arts, where there'll be a special section. The most important section will be where people can come and study their cultural history, and where we can show them that our history does not start with political freedom or with liberation movements, that we're a glorious people from like 4, 5, 6 centuries ago. And that there was a time when Africa didn't have any borders, because I think the biggest thing that I'd like to see is for Africans to be able to see each other and each other's cultures and hear each other's music, see each other's pageantry, because I think that would be the greatest antidote against the xenophobia that exists not only in Africa but in the world. But in Africa it's exploited, and it's very extreme. And my biggest dream is to put on a cultural festival like that for a long weekend here in South Africa, where we can show everybody's culture, where they can taste their food, see their pageantry, hear their music, and maybe we'll stop saying people kemakwerekwer.
I hope that day comes, and we wish you luck in that kind of project. And let's look at young people. Do you get inspiration from young musicians, whether they are from Nigeria or Ghana or Limpopo? Do you get that inspiration from them?
Oh, definitely. I mean, one of my favorite people in this country is Thandiswa.
That's right.
Again, I'm biased because she's so much into like heritage, which is a very important. It's wonderful to see a young person like that. But in the rural areas, there are many people like that, but they don't have a platform. They don't have a way to show that stuff to the rest of their nation or their communities, because again, people say, you know, we're trying to go forward. Forward where is another question. But I'll tell you, I played at the launch of African Leadership Academy, which a young man from Ghana worked on for 5 years to raise the funds, a young businessman. And it's opened here in Honeydew. And it's got 97 young people between the ages of 18 to 24 from all over Africa. This is their first semester. And they got in there not only because of their academic excellence, but because they were all community workers. They did something in the community or scientifically. One young kid from Cape Town is 18 now, but he got his commercial pilot's license when he was 16.
Oh, wow.
And he said, he was the auctioneer also for that night. He made more than $1 million in auctioning. But he said one thing in his speech, him and another girl from Kenya who formed old women's communities for self-support. Were the two speakers, but at the end he said, you know, people might think that Africa is backward and is lagging behind, but they have to realize that in civilization, Africa is running a long-distance race because of the distraction that was rained upon it. And that in that long-distance race, us young people are holding up the rear. And Africa never lost one long-distance race.
How do you deal with people around you who are negative and who are constantly bringing other people down and all of those things? You know, it's negative energy coming to you as well. How do you deal with that?
You know, 4 years ago, I took up Tai Chi, by the way.
Yeah.
And I'll give you my instructor's number. Because after 6 months, you just do it on your own. But it balances you, and then it really, like, centers you. Besides, it helps you use parts of your body that you never used, like your foot muscles, your ankle muscles, your knees. And if you notice the Chinese, even when they're really old, they are straight up. But it also like makes you, if you had a temper, it just like whittles it away. And I sort of miss my temper because I used to be very short-tempered. But now, when a person, if you scream at me and you come at me and you're angry, I'll look at you, because Tai Chi is about warding things off with your own energy.
Yeah.
The first thing I'm going to ask you is, what can I do to make you feel better? And I think that when anybody comes with something negative to me, that's my first reaction. What can I do to make you feel better? Because I can see you're not feeling so good right now. And it hits a person like some cry.
Yeah, I would cry too.
Yeah.
Rahul, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much. Tai Chi it is.
Yeah.
We hope that you find your inspiration, and as we go on through the months, we'll chat to other South Africans about what has inspired them. From all of us, have a good evening.